Hello there, YouTube. I am Wheelchair21, and on today's Wrong Review, it is the Bandai Tamashii Nation's S.H.Figuarts Kamen Rider Zi-O from, well, obviously, the titular character of his own show, Kamen Rider Zi-O. This is a part of the Kamen Rider Kicks 20th Anniversary Edition series, and overall, it does have similar features to previous released Figuarts, like Build, Ghost, X-Aid, having the smaller, more petite boxes, which is nice for storage. However, collectible purposes and accessories aside, not that well when it comes in that department. So this is the front of your box, this is your main side of your box, and on the back you have more promotional artwork of your overall figure at hand, and then you just have the base figure on the side as usual. So let's get into the interior. With our interior, one can obviously see it's just the base body and the actual optional hands. Because, well, Tamashii's been very cheap by cutting cost and production rate on the accessories. If you want the accessories nowadays, you either need to get another figure or buy the bike, which is a P Bandai exclusive. Now, that's not a big deal for the home audience. However, international fans find that very discouraging. So, like I said, it's a pretty simple box and interior. Now, our actual body and figure at hand is actually quite nicely designed and looks like it does in the actual show. The actual Kamen Rider Zi-O suit isn't that ugly or isn't that appalling like some fans may say. I like the actual purple and magenta accents to the overall suit, as you can see throughout the body, whether it be its kneecaps, the tips of its toes, or the pink stripes in its upper breastplate area with the purple, as well as in its gloves, legs, and so on and so forth. One thing I really do like aesthetically about Zi-O as the suit, rather than the character or show, is the watch theme. I think it's a great idea and gimmick, and it turned out really well, as the band of the watch is not just your breastplate and backplate and helmet lock, it also is featured throughout your wide watch holder, as well as your Jiku driver belt, which is actually a really nice aesthetic and look. Now, the only problem with the actual figure's gimmick or driver is that they don't paint in any of your wide watches. So, the regular Jiku one, the build one, the extra watch over here, they are just base painted. A lot of fans are pissed off that they're not painted or even stickered. And I could see why there's that huge argument, seeing that we've had really good Dopant and Gaia memories in the past for the Shinkocchou Seihou line, as well as we had, you know, nicely sculpted full bottles. Even though they were clear items, they still looked nice. These just feel very base and almost near retail, like, toy level for your kids ages, you know, 5 to 7, you know? And overall, it's kind of a knock. However, the Jiku driver does feature its actual rotation gimmick, like it does in the show, even though the actual band is a little too loose for the waist. And it does feature the year 2018 in the center of the belt. You also have the ability to remove wide watches, and they use big rectangular pegs, so they're very meaty and thick, and they can stay right where you need them to be, whether it be the actual driver, as it doesn't want to go in for me for the review, or back onto your actual freaking wide watch holder. So overall, that's a good feature to have, and I really do overtly enjoy it. Now, as for your basic points of articulation, you have your average, you know, thighs, swivel, you have your knee joints, you have your ankle, you have your toe, and that's about it. Now, one thing I don't like is that the right leg on mine is a little bowed, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to fix it since it has like a weird rubbery plastic kind of PVC feel. You have your cool waist articulation and bicep articulation, which is pretty standard for most of your figures. And honestly, I don't know what else to say about it, except that, you know, it moves, it glistens, it glides real well. The shoulder joints are very similar to the joints ever since Blade, where they actually pull out from the shoulder rather than your armor, and they move really well. These are actually fairly tight, and it makes me afraid that they might break or pop. You have your typical shoulder, bicep, elbow, and your wrist swivel. And then you have a really good motion of the head all around and the neck itself. It's not too hindered by the collar, which is really good, and allows a good range of motion. I do like a lot of the extra points of detail in the mask. It really looks nice, from the purple to your very compound-esque eyes that say, I think, Zi-O. And I do like the fact that the hands of the watch of the actual helmet are your antenna. However, this one and that point here could probably break if it fell from a high frickin' surface. So overall, this is your base figure at hand, and that's practically about it, since there are no real accessories outside of optional hands. It's evaluation time, and for my final evaluation, S.H.Figuarts Kamen Rider Zi-O is a high pass. First off, the real reason is most fans don't really like the show, so there's no real reason or connection to want to get this figure art when they can easily, if they want it, just get the Soto figure that's like, 800 yen, or the Rider Kicks figure, which is about 2,000 yen, rather than paying the extra $5 or $10 for this figure art. The next thing is the fact that he doesn't feature his weapons. You have to buy the P Bandai exclusive bike just to get not just his weapons, but Gei's weapons, the Jikan grade and the Gei's axe. It's kind of annoying and it's kind of a huge nuisance. However, there are fans out there that are going to want to get Zi-O because they naturally like the character, or they have a completionist reasoning. Whether you need it just to have all of your base Heisei Riders in their original base forms, or you're a person who gets every freaking Rider figure art ever imaginable. Whether it be a reissue, whether it be a Shinkocchou Seihou, whether it be, a movie Rider, secondary Rider, or a character that everyone frickin' hates. That's practically the best way to state that. Because honestly, I got this for the fact that I actually do like the suit, and I actually do like the overall, design, and gimmick of the show. I just don't like the execution. And I think eventually Zi-O might be well received years later down the line, since Decade is well received now compared to when he first came out back in 2009. So maybe fans will have a change of heart in our future. Nevertheless, though, if you actually like this figure art, or you actually like my review/demo, or you also think this is a figure you should pass, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel here, Wheelchair21, as well as check me out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and check out my website, HeroClub.com. And I'll see you all next time with another rolling review and/or Doyle's DVDs.